You Lord, oh Lord, you Lord, for Sunday. 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 You Lord.
Go back to the. All right, man. I tell you what. One day we're gonna start this thing and we ain't gonna have no problems. Sound good? All right, sound is good. All right, welcome to Frontline
Is mine
Manor. On the rise, you are definitely on.
Okay. Just checking.
Frontline Manor on the rise. I'm your host Kevin Stewart, Mr. Do Right. If you did not know, and today we have our guest of honor. This is a friend of mine. I have definitely put her out of her comfort zone, but she's going to do great today, and all of y'all are going to bear witness to it. This is my friend Crystal.
Hello.
She is a ace #1 realtor, really good one. She helped me get my house, and she was very good at her job. Don't let her fool you. She's nervous, but she's good. So let's get into it.
Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome. So who are you and why are you sitting in here talking to me right now?
Well, my name is Crystal Barboza.
Yes.
And I'm your realtor.
Well, you was my realtor. I don't plan on buying no house no time soon.
Well, I think he's stuck here, but he's like, I'm staying for good. But
Yeah.
I was his realtor at the time,
Mhm.
and we had some mutual friends, so he's also my friend.
So, how long you been a realtor?
I've been a realtor since 2009.
Really?
Yes.
So, what got you involved in real estate? I mean, is that what you wanted to do when you was in elementary school? Like you was running around school playing with all the kids? I'm gonna be a realtor when I grow up. Well, how did you get into this?
Oh my goodness. Well, I did want to be a realtor in high school.
Really?
I will say that. I
Okay.
did. My mom's realtor was like, you have to be really good at math. And I was like, that's the one subject I'm okay at. So
You okay at
I'm
math?
okay at that. I'm not the
Okay.
greatest at it,
All
but
right.
I can use a calculator. So I ended up switching over, going to my basics for dental hygiene. And I'm from El Paso originally, so in school there I did that. And then I switched last minute and went to aesthetics, which is skin therapy.
Okay.
So
Aesthetics.
aesthetics.
So skin therapy, that's like what? Treating people with eczema or
Yeah,
something
so
or what?
eczema,
Like
back
really?
then I specialized in lasers. I did like hair removals,
Oh, and
skin
like
tightening
tattoos
with
and stuff?
laser. We hadn't done any tattoo removals, but we did like scarring, um, acne scarring. We did a lot of like lifting with lasers.
So that's different from a dermatologist then.
Yeah, it's different. But I do have a background where I could work for a dermatologist. I worked under a surgeon. So he was the main provider for it. And we were a third party that just did just the hair removal and laser treatments.
So like you would just run the little laser piece of equipment over somebody's
Yeah.
arm and then just take all the hair off.
Take all their hair.
Really? Okay. So no, I didn't know this. So if you had that, was that a good career?
It was a good career. I was in my 20s. I was really young. And my sister was one of my patients, but also my sister. She was starting a real estate team here in Austin, her and my brother-in-law. And they were picking 2 other agents to partner up with them. It was going to be 4 of them. And also my good friend, Crystal Barboza, was doing the 360 condominiums. And she kept on encouraging me, you do so good at real estate. And that's who I work with now. Her and I are on a team together. It's her team that she brokers out. There's about 15 of us. And my sister doesn't do real estate no more. It was on my own. But yeah, back then I joined my sister's team first. And then being in the industry by myself, I ended up, connecting with Crystal. We were at Compass together.
So if you already had a career that you liked, why did you jump into real estate just because you was peer pressured into it?
No, it wasn't because of that. So to be fair, when I worked in aesthetics, just like dental hygiene or any job, right? You have like something that's gonna like your back hurts or, your body's tired. But this company, I loved them, but we were so busy. I think I had 1 day off.
Wow.
And I was working like morning to night. I never got to do treatments on myself because I was so busy with other clients.
Oh, that was a perk?
Yeah,
That you could do
I
treatments on
wish I
yourself?
could have. Yeah, I should have taken advantage of it. I didn't realize how expensive it was until later on. I was
Everybody wants medical benefits. Crystal just wants some skin benefits.
I just want the hair removal, Like, who doesn't want to have to worry about shaving? And that's exactly why I became an esthetician, because I pay a lot of money for waxing.
That's terrible.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's why I started there. But we were turning and flipping beds a lot, and I just felt bad for like the customers coming in, and I was like, oh, this isn't it's just not feeding my soul. So I was like, I love doing treatments. I just didn't love the connection I was getting with my customers, their clients. at the time.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So you decided to leave that behind and go to the easy life of real estate.
It was never easy. Who jumps into real estate during a recession? This girl at her 20s with no savings
Right.
jumped in. I said, I said, you know what? I'm going to go. And I finished my classes in 6 months. And I was going after work. So I would show up in my scrubs. And I was like determined on my weekends. Like we had these 3 weekend classes. I was like, I'm knocking those out. I'm going to get this done. And then I got up to real estate. And then I realized how expensive real estate was.
Okay.
And I was like, man, okay, it is expensive to upfront cost that people don't know you're doing, especially when you're first starting out. You have no baseline. It's always good to have like a savings set aside because you are fronting a lot. So
basically, when you get in there, you first starting out, you're not making money day one.
Exactly.
So you need something to live off of until you finally make that first sale.
Maybe if it wasn't the recession, it might have been a lot easier. But what happened was it was a recession. People were buying. You'd be excited if you sold 1 to 2 houses a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a little similar right now, but it's not as intense, right? It's slower. So it's not like you're closing deals left and right. It's just a slower pace. Versus the recession, people were just taking it in as they could. And the interest rates were way higher back then as well. So I was young and a lot of my friends were young. And I was a second agent as I was learning from my sister, who was a top producer. To her, I was learning how to do real estate, right? Because real estate is different in every single transaction. It's never the same, ever. And you have to be prepared that it's not going to just go exactly the way you think it's going to go.
Okay.
So there's always bumps and lumps and different things you have to I's and T's you got to cross. So, with that being said, I had a serving job and I became a leasing specialist. So that kind of tied into me working with investors because I learned the ins and outs of leasing. So if a client was coming to me like, I've been looking forever, my realtor can't find me anything. And other agents were saying, I don't take leases because they don't pay enough. So I was like, I take leases. I'll take them.
Oh.
So people were just throwing them to me and I was taking them. And I was like, and I had a big thing that back then I knew what it's like to have a person who was not buying yet, but became my buyer. So it's like a relationship. I help my clients as they learn their baby steps and start saving their money. We all grew together and they bought later on. Right. So not just the investors, but also the sellers and buyers that I ended up accumulating. And I got a really big investor through the leases. So you'd be surprised. So many agents say, I don't do leases. And I always tell everybody, I do leases. I say it not like loud and proud. And they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I will take a lease. You can give it to me. So
you basically fill the void, and that helped you out in the beginning to get you where you're at today.
Yeah, I became a leasing. So now I can do apartments. I still pay for that same data separate aside from like the regular data that people have for like regular condos and apartments that are being leased individually by owners. I pay for a separate apartment data to give my clients, they pay a little bit more. I'll give them like a small gift card so that they can go ahead and have something for themselves, when they move in. It's a little bit later because they pay like, 4 or 5 months later after they move in, but it gives them something.
You
can walk into an apartment without me and not get a gift card, but if you walk in an apartment and I get paid, then I want to give you a gift card.
Okay.
That's what I tell everybody.
Well, I noticed that your leasing transactions are almost equal to your home selling transactions.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. So you by you being able to double dip, you racked up a good amount of sales. I mean, I think it comes to about close to $3 million.
It did, yeah. One of my years was about 3 million.
Yeah, I did my research. Yeah.
You're not supposed to be looking at my sales.
Why not?
It's like too much for me. I'm like, wait a minute.
Okay.
It might look wrong, but yes,
Why-
that's my sales volume.
Why would that look wrong?
I know. I'm kind of humble. You know that.
That's humble
It
and
sounds-
it's
it sounds
like hiding it under
extravagant.
a rock. That's two different things. It's cool to be humble, like, yeah, I'm good. I ain't all that in a bag of chips. But I mean, the numbers say you are. So you might as well go ahead and
Thank you.
just admit it and quit playing and hiding and stuff. You can't hide in all these lights. Okay.
I realize that now.
But yet, she was so shy and everything, like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. But she up here, yeah, I was doing this and everything. And you know what I'm
because
saying?
I'm with you.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
I have forgotten my name during a video before. So that's how camera shy I am. This is a
Okay.
lot. This is a lot of progress
All
for
right.
me.
Okay. So let's get into some of these questions. I like this because I know you and I'm comfortable with you and then you comfortable with me. So it's just like we always talking and it ain't no big deal.
Exactly.
And I think that's gonna be good for you. Because we got some hard hitting questions here that we need to get to the bottom of. So my next question is, since we up here, so you're so humble. You've been recognized as a top 500 agent in Austin, and you're part of the Sapphire Club. First, what is the Sapphire Club?
If I'm being transparent with you,
Okay, be transparent.
I honestly don't know the exact sales volume for Sapphire Club.
Okay.
When I was with Realty Austin, when I got recognized, my good friend Evan Spencer was like, we got to go celebrate, because he got awards a lot. He's like, you got top to producer. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, twice. You got top Sapphire or whatever. And I was like, oh, I did? He was like, yeah, you didn't see the tag or you didn't see the, I was just so busy. It's hard, tangling work, clients, friends, kid, life, so I was always missing like some details. I was like, oh, whatever. I just got to keep going. I got to work, but it was nice to know and see. And whenever he told me that, I was like, oh, that's so awesome. I had no idea. So I did get an award, but yeah, it was nice.
So, but what is Sapphire?
Sapphire
Club?
is like an additional. So we have Realty Austin was a really high producing brokerage here. Compass now owns Realty Austin,
Okay.
and Yvette and Jonathan really took a lot of pride in finding these agents. It didn't matter the number; it was really about who you are and the meaning behind it. So when we worked really hard, everybody had a volume. When I originally went over to Realty Austin, I actually got a lower cut split of my check. So it was a big risk for me to take, but I did take it because at the time when I was going to get divorced, I was like, oh, you know what? I'm already losing money. Just take my money. So I went over. I was like, just take it. And ended up being the best decision I could have ever done because the company, the way it was built, is you're constantly making money without even realizing you're making money because they had like foundations and we were giving back to the community. We were so involved with our people that we didn't even realize we were working. You know, I got to like build houses for people who were less fortunate and get to meet them and get sand in my eyes and realize how hard it is for those contractors that are out there and what they're doing in the sun. You know, it was just like a whole nother connection. But what happened is you obviously hit a sales volume when you get Sapphire. That was like the in between that top producer, right? I mean, there was teams that had tons of agents and they produced a lot, right? But me by myself, that's what I had made, Sapphire Club. So that was nice. It was
Okay.
a nice accomplishment.
Okay. So the club is like you sold so much real estate that you was in the club of high producers.
Yeah, it was
Gotcha.
just for Realty Austin's high production. Yes.
Well, I was going to say, what does it take to reach that level of success? I guess you just told us.
Yeah, top 500 was something you're nominated, and it's through all of Austin.
Oh,
So
so
yeah,
all the realtors in
all
Austin
of
are
our
going for the Sapphire Club.
thousands. No, so you
Oh.
actually have to be nominated for top 500. It's based off your sales volume.
Okay.
Realty Austin was a Sapphire Club, so that was their top productions and what they
Okay,
had
got
for
you.
their awards, setting their agents aside from everybody else.
Okay.
500 Club was just something throughout all of Austin.
Wow.
So that was really a big accomplishment for me because 500 is a big number, but I was
That's a small
honored.
number.
I was.
Yeah, I'm sure it's way more than 500.
Yeah, there's way more agents than that now.
Yeah.
Way more, way more. But yeah, back then there was a lot of agents too, so it was nice. I was really shocked by that one too because I didn't know until I got invited. I was like, oh wow, I'm so excited.
Okay. And that's why you were so busy that she couldn't make it to birthday parties.
I missed a few birthday parties. Yes, I did miss a few birthday parties.
All right, so what do you love most about being a realtor?
Oh, I really love to serve people if I'm being transparent. It sounds crazy.
No, that doesn't sound crazy. We know you being transparent. So-
Just saying. I know it's interesting because people ask me this question, and every single time I say the same thing. I remember praying for this one client that I really helped, and it was a woman who sadly was a widower. She had just moved here from Africa with her husband, and so she's not from our country. And I remember her asking like all these questions, and her husband had just passed away, and she had never paid a bill. Her husband took care of everything. He passed away suddenly. So she's already mourning the loss of her husband. But on top of it, now has to figure out the world.
Right.
You know, what's this? What's that? What documents did you have here? Like, can you imagine how somebody feels like just that alone? But then on top of it, they had another agent that had helped them buy that property.
Okay.
And it was in Bastrop. It was a few acres. It was a really beautiful property. Inside needed a lot of work. She did not know how to maintain a house. And so when I stepped in, she already had gone through the whole process with this agent. He was literally selling it to another person to make the commission for the same price they had bought it years ago. So then she was also being bullied by, they have family members. Family members come in that they don't know the woman, but their family, and they just, everyone wants the money, the split. They're mourning the loss of their father and her husband, right? But it was not their mom. So there was a lot of tension in that situation. But I remember helping this lady, and I just remember like walking her through the steps alone, but also being by her side because she did not have her husband. So that's what I meant by serving. Like, every transaction's different. Even a lease, like it doesn't really matter. You know, it could be a sell or a lease. Like somebody's moving into their house and they don't know, and they're like, oh, I don't know what utilities, or I didn't know you have to have a deposit the same amount as the rent amount, or you know, everybody in life is like processing things, and some people are so new. People assume that people just know these things, and it's like, when is somebody going to say, hey, let me take your hand and help you a little bit? So like, that's what I mean by serving. Sometimes it just depends. When I had an assistant, I had a rule, and I said, we treat everybody the same, whether it's a lease, $1,000 lease, or it's a $1.8 million buyer. He knew we had to part ways. And I said to him, I said, I hope you understand, because he was young. I said, I'm letting you go because I had a saying with you that we treat everybody the same. So I really struggle with the serving, being good, and also producing, right? Because I'm a mother, I have to produce for my son to provide. So, but between all that, I always say, I gained such a big relationship with every single person. You know, like one of my last sales I just did, I asked, can I come see your father? You know, he just sold his house that he, you know, him and his wife had together. And I get to go visit him in the nursing home. And I'm so excited that to have that relationship, because I don't have my grandpa anymore. So that relationship that I now get to build with that person every other Friday, you know, and go play cards with him is like so meaningful to me, you know, because I don't have Realty Austin anymore. I don't have that community of building and interacting with other people. But to me, that fills my heart, and it actually gives me fire because it gives me a reason. You know, I feel like people, when they have a reason behind something, then they really have a passion for it.
Right.
Versus if you're like, I don't know what they want, I don't care what color they want. Like, if you don't have any meaning behind it or know what they're really wanting, then how are you going to really go for what they want, you know?
Right. If your meaning is just to make as much money as you can possibly get,
Yes.
then it's going to carry over to the customer and how you make them feel.
Yes.
And people might not forget, people may forget what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
So if you did that, if you made them feel a certain kind of way, it's no surprise why you're a top producer. Because you made this family feel good. Of course, they're going to sit up here and tell somebody else. Next thing you know, your phone is ringing off the hook because everybody wants the $1 million feeling. Nobody wants to be treated like trash. So, you know, you can tell when somebody just doesn't care.
Yes.
So it's I don't want to say great. Great is not a big enough word. I can't think of a word. I might have to create one.
I think grace and gratitude go back in there. That's
Yeah,
a
but
good
I
one.
think it's commendable of you to sit up here and make your goal to serve people. I don't think enough people do it. People go into things for the wrong reason, and it shows. Now, they can make tons and tons of money,
Yes.
but then it's funny that they have nobody to share all that with.
Yeah.
But
I believe in karma in this business.
oh yeah, well any business.
Yes.
You make somebody a nasty burger, I guarantee you
It's
coming
gonna come back.
Yes.
It's gonna come back. I
Yeah.
cut somebody out, they're gonna cut me back right back.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
That's
lie, it's
just
happened.
the way of the world. All right, let's get another question in here. So you work with home buyers and real estate investors. How is helping an investor different from helping a family find their dream home?
Well, they're not very different.
Okay.
But they are so they are similar, but they are different. So they're similar on the fact that you want to be in an area, no matter what, as a home buyer, that's going to create value, right? Like, when I'm going to use you as an example, when we bought your property, we knew you were going to be putting money into it. The last thing I want is for my client to put money into something and think they're going to get a return later, right? As a home buyer. But as a home buyer, it's more personalized. Like, we know you have production. We knew you needed a certain space for production to set it up and let it be convenient. We knew that. But with an investor, they just want to see the numbers.
Right.
They want to see, is this a lipstick property? How much is it going to take for me to get it ready? How fast can we lease it out? What's going to draw you into this property?
So let me see if I can dissect that. A lipstick property is something that they can just clean up and turn around real quick so they can get
I
their
work with
investment back.
flippers as well.
Yeah.
So when I say investors, it's also including under the umbrella for flippers.
Okay.
So flippers will do sometimes massive remodels, and sometimes they'll do minor. You know, it could be like just like a little like paint, clean flooring done, and paint the cabinets or change the countertops out. That's a lipstick. We didn't move any plumbing. We didn't knock down any walls.
Right.
We didn't add any additions.
Just a weekend renovation.
Yeah, pretty much, because it could get done in a weekend.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
that's a lipstick property.
Okay.
So yes, that's what makes it a little bit different compared to a personal property. Like sometimes they want to be close to a school. You know, that is key for a rental property, you know, or long-term property because location is so important. So it goes back and forth, but the majority is numbers versus personal for home buyers that are just looking for their home and what it makes them feel like.
Okay. Oh, we moving right along. This is some good stuff. All right. So, real estate can be stressful for buyers and sellers. What do you do to make the process easier and less overwhelming for your clients?
Well,
Some of this care that you
on the
talk about
seller
giving.
on the seller side, is that what we're talking about, or both?
Both buyers and
Okay.
sellers.
So let's
Because
be
I know
real.
I was stressed out as hell.
Let's be real. I know. So let's talk about the buying process.
Okay.
Right. We need to first know what type of loan are we doing. What are we wanting to do? What are we wanting? I always ask the 5-year question. Right. It's my first thing I asked when I first started getting into real estate is getting to know what people want to know, what they want to do in 5 years. Let's say you knew you were going to move to like Hawaii in 2 years or something. And I'm like, oh, well, then we need to find this property where you can also lease it out because you're going to be gone, or are we going to resell it soon? So I need to know so I can talk to you and communicate that with you if we're going to be planning for that time frame, right? If I knew my client's going to be there long term and then they want their parents to move in and things like that, then we need to find 2 master suites downstairs. Consider these different things, right? So I'm kind of
you need
planning.
to find out their needs so you can find the right property to match their needs.
Exactly. And
Gotcha,
the sellers, it's a little different, right? It's so overwhelming. People don't understand how much work goes into selling. They think that they just clean up their house and they're gone. It's not like that. So I'll usually bring some clear bins. I come over to my listing appointments dressed, but my second appointment I come in my workout clothes.
Okay.
Clients that have sold with me before, sometimes I come straight in my workout clothes because I'm not there to waste time, right? They need my help. They need to understand. I'm saving also the time that they're going to have my stager come in,
Okay.
which is going to have you do these things too. But it's, like I said, we're a team. We're a team when we sell. We're a team when we buy. I have to get in there with you guys and show you. So I don't go through my whole listing presentation. Even people that don't know. I have some buyers who happen to be, or sellers who I happen to be their buyer agent, and I met them at my open house. We lost touch and they had another agent. So they had picked this like top producing team to list their property, and it didn't get sold for what they wanted, and it didn't work out. And they said, you know, let me call Crystal back. They found my number. And I went over and they said, we learned so much in this listing time frame than going through a what is it called? Presentation, what is it?
PowerPoint?
PowerPoint, sorry,
Okay.
brain fart. PowerPoint about what your team's going to do and what we're going to market and all these different things. That's very important. Your company should be providing that no matter what. But what are you individually doing as an agent to help your clients get their house sold or help them find their house to buy? So that's where my legwork comes in majority of the time in my workout clothes, because sometimes I'm knocking on doors at houses that are not on the market. If I know what my client wants, I find it. I'm like, I'm going to find that house and I'm going to become friends with that owner and see if when they're ready to sell. And if you're willing to wait that time frame or we can work a deal out, then it's sold.
Really?
Yes. I've done this
Wow.
before in downtown Round Rock. I've done this in Georgetown.
So you just not get somebody's house
I
that's
do.
not even on the
I
market.
think maybe it's like the little short Latina that like she won't buy. She doesn't buy it. She's in her workout clothes. Maybe she's homeless. You know? But versus like if I show up dressed up for work, they're like, why is this girl knocking on my door? You know? So I mean, like my Instagram, for example, I'm talking to a neighbor and I'm in my workout clothes. They saw me go through the house so many times. I was kind of embarrassed at first. It's a senior citizen community, but they said, you know, we saw you. And he said, you know, I didn't get a chance to tell you, you had so many people there. You know, they recognize. It's funny how people can see outside of a clothing attire on what you're doing for somebody's property. So like that's what I mean by, putting in the work, because we are a team. I have to show up. I have to check on that house. I have to, behind the scenes, that's what I'm doing. And sometimes it's hard because on the surface, when you think realtor, you think blazer, collar shirts, dress pants, we're ready. But sometimes we're not. The ones who are busy, we're not dressed.
I don't think I've ever seen you in that.
Yeah, we're not. I think you haven't either. Maybe twice when we were looking. When you're buying.
You're not a blazer and no button-up shirt.
Not a blazer. It's Texas, so like a bodysuit, tank top, and work pants.
You always what's Beyonce's name? Fierce something Fierce. Sasha Fierce. Every time
I hope it's a good Fierce. Like she looks
like
good.
You Sasha Fierce right now. And I'm
okay.
Like, we're doing an interview. You come in here to like speed date or something. Like what we doing?
I have to look good.
Oh, fair enough.
Decently good. I mean, like I could be my workout clothes still too, but
yeah.
You were gonna put me on camera. I had to put something.
I guess I should have dressed up too. My bad.
This is perfect.
We should have coordinated.
Yes, I should have worn the black.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that would have been.
Yes.
He would have been set.
I was debating.
That was my favorite color. Now we look like opposites and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, I like your answer though. Before I move off of that, I like your answer. And you said that you put on your workout clothes and you'll get in there. You said that you go knocking on doors and find somebody a house, but like, what else would you do? Like, you was helping them move and stage and stuff.
I've
like,
helped clients move. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I've helped clients move furniture, especially because I want them to see what we need to do, right?
Like
and
rearrange the room so if somebody comes in and look at the house, they'll see the potential.
And
or something?
I'm also very forward. That's one thing about me. I say, it's just between us because it truly is. It's a relationship. I don't tell other people what we're doing, but I say, do you have the money right now for us to do X, Y, Z? And they'll say no or yes, right? And it is hard because when you're getting a house on the market, you're going to have to sometimes paint. You're going to have to move stuff out, get rid of stuff, fix stuff. It gets expensive, but we also have to figure out, you want this price or do you want an okay price right now that we know you can get, but avoiding these items that we know people are going to ask for, right?
Yeah.
Because I know the feedback of what a buyer is saying. So I have to tell my sellers, hey, and we sold this house I was talking about for the senior citizen community. There's a lot of inventory in Sun City. And
I know about Sun City.
a lot of inventory. And I had so much competition and I've sold out there before. And every time they tell me you should specialize out here because you do so well. And it's just me, and everybody else knows everyone because they live in the community, if I'm being transparent, right? So they're in the same age group. They know each other. But I sold that house at the open house.
Wow.
I had an offer at the open house, and then I got multiple other offers, and my clients got above asking price.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, we just did the basic of what we did. I had to go back. My client's son and daughter knew like 15 realtors apiece. So it was a lot of competition for me, and, they knew a lot. We talked about things. I said, I'm asking you to trust me on this. This is where we need to be priced. They wanted to go lower. And I said, no, we're going to stay here. I'll tell you when we need to go lower. If I think that this is not a good choice, I'll definitely tell you. So they said, okay, we're going to trust you. They were blown away. It honestly was a blessing. It was a true blessing to all of us. But, that's like something where just taking those little steps and we're figuring it out all together is just like the best thing. But yeah.
Man. So just a little sweat equity is the difference between not getting what you want and getting over what you was looking for.
Equity, yeah. So it varies, right? I think we're really blessed in our city that we all gain equity.
No, sweat equity.
What do you mean by sweat equity?
Like
I've never heard that.
You really?
Never heard sweat equity.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
teach me something new.
Sweat equity is basically going in, painting, arranging the house, making small repairs.
Okay.
Like you said,
yes.
the things that people are going to be looking for.
Yes.
By putting in that work to do that, to declutter our house before the walkthroughs
It's a
and
case
stuff.
by case.
Right.
So when I take a listing on, I don't just go in and tell them this is what the numbers tell me.
Mm-hmm.
I go and look at the other listings. I need to know who my competition is. I need to know if you're sitting next to me, I need to research you. I need to know who am I against.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody goes in blindsided. Why would I sell a house blindsided and be like, oh,
Right.
So if you walk that house and it stinks or it wobbles or it has like foundation, that I know my competition has other issues. I know my competition is ready to go and they're ready to go on the market. They have that house to the T. Okay, we have to step it up if you want anywhere close to that number.
Okay.
It's like you have to really do those extra steps to really know what you're getting your clients to commit to with them, because they're committing into this. I'm committing into it. When I pay for that photographer, it's not cheap. That marketing, the signs I have to buy for them, I'm like, it's a commitment. We are both committing to working together. So if you're not serious, then I can't be serious with you because I don't have money to throw away. So if we're going to have to do that, it has to be both of us on the same page.
No, fair enough. All right, Crystal. All right. So, Austin has changed dramatically since 2004.
It has.
How has the real estate market evolved, and what surprises you most about the growth?
Well, I'll answer backwards.
Okay.
The growth on what surprises me is that it's actually still consistent.
Really?
We have been, since I've gotten my license to now, there is still consistency.
When you say consistency, what define
What I
that?
mean is we've had like a dip, right? Because of sales prices fluctuating, but we still have buyers buying.
Okay.
We still have a number that still matches almost the year before. It's just slower. It's not like COVID.
You're right.
When we talked about like Tesla moving here, I knew as soon as I had the insight from the Tesla, you remember my Tesla client, I told you, half listened, half didn't, and some never got to buy and some did. But now the market's slower. People just see the number. They don't realize there's wiggle room to negotiate, just like there was during the recession. People were asking for AC units. And that's what the sellers, we have to communicate ahead of time. Why am I going to have you pay for painting a wall that I know somebody's going to probably paint again versus saving that money because I know they're going to ask for a credit somewhere else?
Okay.
So that's where I look at your net sheet with you and I'm trying to figure it out because we all have different situations. Some people have that money ready to go and they're like, oh, that's fine. I'll get it cleaned up because they want that buyer to walk in and see this completed.
Okay.
But if it's not completed, we're adjusting, then that's different. But so whenever we're back to our question, so the market is still consistent. We're not Vegas like during the recession. Oh my God, they had houses at 100,000 that were like gorgeous, 150,000. I remember seeing it and I'm like, that's a mansion for $150,000. People were all upside down on the mortgages back, during the recession.
Okay.
So now we do have people struggling. I will say this, from 2017, 18 to 2022, people bought at a higher price point, right? Because we had the move of Tesla here. COVID hit. Some people were like, oh, I'm going to lose my job. I can't buy. And everybody's, which is normal for people to freak out. But it put back some people so much in it paying out of pocket just to buy a house, right? So instead of doing just a loan for what it's worth, they ended up paying ahead just to win a bid, which works against them now because they're like, I put all that money, my savings into that house, and now I might not be getting it back. 2017 to 2020, you're probably safe, right? But the people who were buying between 2020 to now and they want to sell now are struggling a little bit because they're making ends meet. They're making exactly what they bought for. They're not making money. You can make money if you purchased in 2017 more than likely and you're selling now.
Right.
But in that time frame, I'm happy to help people get out of their house because they sometimes have had agents where they just didn't negotiate much and they bought just the house above price or at price and that was it. So there's like a small window in between in that time frame, I guess you could say, it's not as consistent, right? It's a small window. But overall, like looking at all the states, we're definitely consistent. We're very blessed that our city has continued because you can rent it out. You can rent it out furnished and get your mortgage.
Wow.
You know, so that's what I'm having to help a lot of clients. You have to be patient because then now you got to have it Airbnb ready, because you might be able to Airbnb your property or you might just lease it furnished. But at the end of the day, you're making your mortgage and you're not messing up your credit.
Right.
You know, but if you have to sell, then yes, sometimes some people are losing money during that small peak.
Okay.
But for the recession compared to now, like I said, it's slow. But I mean, people are still moving. They're still buying. The recession had interest rates at 9%, and now we're at 6.75, right? But the sales prices are not as low as they were back then. And there were grants in 2009 to help people buy. But now there's DPA programs. So people don't even have to use their down payment money. They can save it, buy, and take that rate, and then later on refinance it. But it has to be later on. It can't be right away. So it's just weighing it out. But when you look at all of them together and combining them, it's still consistent, you know? And yes, our culture of our city has definitely expanded. We have so much more diversity here. It's so beautiful because everyone's like, oh, you know, Austin's just not the same. You're 100% right. It's not the same anymore. It's not. Our city has expanded so much, and it's such an active city. And yet, even though we're not rated top city at this time frame, it's going to come back, because if you look, articles are coming up. Companies are moving here. Why are they moving here if we're not supposed to be a top city?
Right.
Why would they invest their big money to be here if we're not supposed to be a top city?
Okay.
So I tell people right now, if you're looking to buy right now, this is the time to buy, because this is the time you can negotiate. This is the time the interest rate's decent. It's not going to go much more down. You're not going to get a 2.3
Yeah.
ever again. It stayed there way too long, and it's not coming back. Let me say that on the camera. It's not coming back. So
You know what? You said 2.3. Oh, fair enough. 5 is coming back?
I don't know about 5, honestly.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Them
5
days
is
gone,
pushing
huh?
it. Yeah, 5 would be good. 4.3 is not going to happen. It's just like it. I tell people, if you really wanted to buy a property, you got to stop waiting. It's like when you're having a baby, you're never ready.
Right. Right.
How bad do you want the baby? Just take it or leave it. Like, you know, like you got to figure that out. You're never prepared. And even when you think you're prepared, you're not prepared. So,
I wasn't prepared. It just fell in my lap. It's like, it's either be on the street or get you a house. And I was like, oh man.
Sometimes you're forced.
Yeah, because it was during that time when everybody house prices.
Yes.
The value of their house is all skyrocketing. Everybody was selling.
Yes.
And I was renting that house.
I remember.
And it was like, I was like, hey, I'm ready to re-up my lease. And they said, we want to sell.
Because they were waiting.
And I'm like, well, how much is it? And when they told me, I was like, shit, I can sit up here and get a new house for that.
I'm telling you.
I was like, no. So
sometimes you're forced.
And then at that time is when you talk about Tesla, and all those people from California was coming in and they had all that money in their pocket.
Yes.
And they were bidding on houses. And I was like, how am I supposed to compete with this?
Yes.
And you said, don't give up, Kevin. There's going to be something out there.
Yes.
And I was like, are you sure? Because I feel like there's an underpass with my name on it. But no, you was right.
Yeah.
You was right.
And
But I got lucky though.
You did.
I got lucky.
You did.
I got lucky and unlucky at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
No, I still think about it to this day. It's like, damn, for this, some people tell me what their mortgage is. I was like, damn, I could have bought 2 of your houses.
Thank God you got it when you did.
Yeah, I know, because I couldn't imagine what it is now. Like, shoot, it's crazy out here.
Yes.
So that leads me to this other question that just popped in my head. Is it going to keep skyrocketing out here? Do you think that?
So I think we're at a level right now. I think
Okay.
everyone who is really willing to sell is at a reasonable price. Right?
Okay.
Everyone who's like, oh, you know what? I just got to hold it back for a minute. This is harder on the leasing market as well because there's way more inventory now because people are realizing I can't sell right now. I'm going to lease. So whenever I'm having a lease, I tell my clients we have to step it up. This goes back to I do business back to the recession. You do have to have the property ready, right? Like I said, there's clients of mine, circumstances that I know that they cannot do anything. That's different. If I know we can work to make it happen where you can make more money, then I have to have you do that work. I had to have you stage that property. I had a client where we halfway staged it because he wanted to save on money, and I told him it needs to look luxurious in this price point. There's price points. There's clienteles, there's buyers that are looking at a certain thing, So when you're having to use your vision for all these different things, you have to also remember that I'm ranting a little bit here, but I'm going back to our original question because I'll go off topic. I feel like that's what I'm doing right now. So tell me what we said the first time was the question.
Oh, the question, do you feel like this area is going to keep skyrocketing?
Yes. Yeah. So there's development. So it goes back to that listing I was going on about. We halfway staged, and then we leased it out. When we leased it leased quickly. But I explained to the buyers who were this was an interesting property. It was like a condominium, but it was the same size as the houses that were $1.5 million in the neighborhood.
Wow.
So in a radius of 1 mile, that's what appraisers look at because I work with a flipper. So we have to, when I do my research to present a property to a flipper to come and put money into something, I need to know what we're going to be doing. And they have numbers that they run on their end, and I have numbers I run on my end. So whenever I have that knowledge, I'd use it on my other stuff for selling. But for example, that property, there's a Brody development coming, just like the domain. Like I said, companies are moving here. That property is going to grow up in value. We're going to have another domain. Why would we build a whole nother community if we're not going to have visitors? If we're not going to have people coming? If companies and stores are not going to make money, why would we be building a whole nother community?
So they I don't know. You tell me because I
growth.
don't know.
It's growth that's coming.
But what's
it's just
making
being
it grow?
patient. It's the people who are relocating here. We have also sports. We used to have a rugby team. They had it. They took it away. I keep hearing stories about investors looking back into having them back here again. We'll see about that. But we obviously have soccer here. We have hockey, even though it's not like the major, but it's still a hockey team. We have baseball. We still have other things that are coming into play as well. F1's a big one.
Yeah.
We had X Games at some point too. So hopefully we get it back.
So people move here because they're in close vicinity of F1, or
they'll move here for jobs.
Okay.
Tesla brought so many people from California, right? And some people went back and some people stayed because they realized, I'd rather my wife stay home with my kids and I just work than spend 2 incomes back. Some people just love the water. It's a beautiful city. I get it. I understand that. I could see why. If you can afford it, then definitely go back. But for other people who are like, hey, we love the community. We love the free fun in Austin. We love, having our kids grow up with other kids that they know and have this adventure. We have so many people from other countries that live here. I have New Zealand is probably one of the most popular I think I've met here. Spain, we have Africa, everywhere. I mean, honestly, so many cultures move here and they love it. Because they're like, you know what? My company's here. They pay me good. I mean, I don't see anybody stop coming, right? Our statistics are not the same, but they're definitely not high right now because it's not rated top city. But all the other cities are going to get filled up again, and who's going to come back to? They're going to come back to.
We the overflow.
Yeah. So we're adjusting. We're adjusting from our high that we had from the Tesla bump of everything, but overall, we're not going to have super low rates. It's just people figuring out, do you want to keep renting and throwing your money away, or do you want to buy? Or, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay in the city or leave?
So, and now Samsung is going to open up that new factory.
Yes.
That's probably why all this stuff is opening up. Okay.
That's big.
So, because I know Taylor is probably booming with real estate right now.
It's grown so much.
Yeah.
Taylor has grown so much.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Even I hear Seguin. I hear Seguin, and
Seguin
I'm
is
like,
blowing up?
wow, you're starting to get some. People are looking a little bit further out. They're trying to find those flips for later on. I was going to
Wow.
buy a property in San Marcos,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember I wanted to buy one so bad. I couldn't at the time, but it's grown so much. But I mean, it's still going to be growing out there. Buda has, Kyle has tons of restaurants opening there.
Yeah.
They have a Sprouts they just built. They had a Z Tejas. They had a Summer Moon. I just saw this past weekend. I was like, it just blinked my eye because I remember looking at Shannon Reese's house down there, and there was nothing. It was like bare back then. They're a model. We had to look at it in
San Marcos?
in Kyle.
Oh, in Kyle,
and then we
okay.
had to drive all the way back up to Pflugerville.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how much it's grown.
Wow.
I mean, you got to put people somewhere, right? Like
Yeah.
there's so much land. And we have
definitely more land outside, and the prices are better because you're further away from Austin.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
And it's just more of like what type of property you have. Like if you're looking for something just to rent or you're looking for something to own.
Okay.
So there are different types of people that are moving here or people that are buying here because they're not always moving here. They might just buy something but be living somewhere else.
Okay.
So
just be prepared for the same times we've been living in Austin.
exactly. Always be prepared.
It is just that monkey is not getting off our back. Okay. So, yeah. So for somebody thinking about moving in their first home in the Austin area, what advice would you give them in today's market?
Today's market.
And she is not your realtor. She's just giving some basic advice.
Basic advice. So knowing your budget is the most important thing.
Okay.
Right? You need to know like what you're looking at, your lifestyle. Do you like to walk to stores? Do you not like to walk to stores? Is driving an issue for you or is it not an issue for you? But because it all adds up. So when you're looking at a sales price, you're also looking at your budget, right? So you're putting gas in your car, your time. I mean, you got to figure out what's best for you. If you are picking a house in Buda, my friend's going to laugh because I'm using him as an example. Buda, and you work in the Domain.
Oh,
that's
that's
a 50-minute drive to
with no
and
traffic.
from. Yes. So,
You see where I
beautiful
work
property.
and where I live. I did that on purpose.
Yes.
Oh,
I
my
knew.
God.
You told me you wanted to be close to work, and I knew that. So that's why I knew it was like a mission for you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. And on also your taxes because and you got to know too, certain areas don't always, when you're shopping at that time, your realtor might not know it's going to grow, right? So you have to be prepared. Sometimes if they notice, they're going to tell you, hey, just a heads up, your taxes might go up because you're going to have all this growth behind you. You're going to have all these luxuries and amenities that you're going to get to enjoy, but your taxes, you're going to pay for it. So
that's the biggest thing that I think catches people off guard. It got me. When my mortgage shot up.
HOAs too.
When my mortgage shot up because of my taxes went up, it hurt. Like I was good before that, but then just $500 extra a month. That's huge.
Yes. Huge.
Huge. And especially like if all your bills besides your mortgage is $500, now your mortgage goes up. Now you're trying to figure out how to pay your utilities and stuff. Next thing you know, you're in the house in the middle of the day with all the lights off, and then nighttime comes, you still got the lights off. It's bad.
That is bad.
But I never
hard.
knew.
That's hard. That's the hard part. Like the city part of not knowing your taxes and how much they're going to go up is really out of our control because we don't make that rule. Right. But just kind of getting to help our clients when we do see little things like adding up, is it best for you to buy a house all the way out here? I love this house for you, but is this a good decision for you and your family? So like kind of talking those out. That's what I meant by the 5-year plan and getting to know people. You want to know, like, how long will they be making that commute? Is that going to hurt them? Is that financially going to hurt them?
Yeah, because doing that much commuting, that's money.
Yes.
Wear and tear on your car, the fuel costs and everything, and that's eating into the other bills, which that's
Exactly.
going to eat into your mortgage. And next thing you know, you trying to scrounge up pennies trying to pay stuff off.
Exactly.
It's tough.
And another thing I always consider when I have a client, it depends on the client, but let's say I can see it's a single woman, or or the husband might not be as handy, and I'm like, maybe new construction is better for you, because a newer house, I mean, they have their problems too, right? But it's less wear and tear, right? Older homes sometimes, depending on how the seller took care of it, may need more maintenance to be done. Like an AC might go out a lot faster than a new property. You have warranties on them. They're covered for 1, 3, 5, 10 years. So it helps somebody when they're first having a house,
Yes.
and not having that stress of not knowing. After you've had your first house, you kind of start learning, like, oh, I got to clean this AC out. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's like you're learning as you go. But if I knew you had no experience with a home and I'm just throwing you into a home, I'm like, okay, I want to talk it through with you. And at the end of the day, it's your decision. But ideally, I have to have that thinking cap for you to truly help you and for you to be a returning client of mine. So that's what I was going to say to you. This is something somebody probably wouldn't throw out, but it is something that I do stress to my clients when they're looking. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to tell you what I learned with you.
What is it?
I learned pay for the inspector and don't be cheap and don't do it once. I wish I'd have done it twice.
Okay.
Even though I was coming here as they was building and looking at stuff and catching stuff.
Yes, you were catching a lot.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I was catching so much. What was I not catching? And I wish I'd had backup to look at stuff to catch the things that I miss, because there's some stuff that I regret I missed. There's some stuff that I regret that I caught that I was convinced wasn't a problem, and it was a problem, and I knew it was a problem, and I let them talk me out of it. So
No.
pay that money, get that inspector.
Now remind me, did we do the 10-month mark and the first?
Oh, yeah, you told me that, and I didn't do it because you said to get the inspector before closing, but then before the warranty runs out, get another inspection.
Because that's when the wear and tear happens on the property.
Yeah, and it wasn't wear and tear. It was just, and I'm just gonna tell you what it was.
Yes, let me know. I need to know too.
So you can put it in your repertoire. The front of the house downstairs. So where we at right now?
Yes.
And the study. When I looked in the attic, they had the vent choked up, because they had a strap. Just threw it any kind of way. And I'm like, hey, man, that strap is pretty tight, and it's going to choke the airflow going to those rooms. And they said, oh, no, it's good and everything. I said, you sure? Oh, yeah, I'll get the AC guy to check it out. And so when I come back and I say, well, it's still like that. Oh, the AC guy checked it out. He says it's blowing cold. Everything is supposed to be. Well, yeah, it's blowing cold only at the vent, because you only get enough cold air at the vent to feel it, but down on the floor, you don't feel it.
Is it right under the AC unit?
Or where they test it?
Yes.
Or that you feel the cold air?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Is it warm in here?
It's a little warm. I was like, my lotion's starting to.
You know what? and ask me what the AC is on right now.
What is it?
70. So, yeah, they got me.
I thought I was just really nervous.
No, you're nervous.
I was like, my legs are sweating.
So, if you find something, be adamant about it. Get that inspection, pay for that inspection so they can back you up, and tell your concerns to the inspector, because sometimes you need an extra voice. And the other thing was, I told Crystal about every one of my concerns, and man, she was a little pit bull, and I called it at that time, and to
I
the
have
point to
gotten that
where
name.
the project manager said, "Don't get your pit bull on me." I said, "Well, you better do something about it."
Well, listen, I'm not here to be nice. You're here to be nice. This is my job. So I do have to be a little bit more aggressive. It's a man's world here. And yeah, you have to show them it's important.
No, I can vouch for her. She did not play at all.
But
And
it's also respect because I have ran into them again and overdoing business. They understand. Like, I'm here for my clients.
Yeah.
Like, I have to make sure that these are working. And I'm loving that you brought that up because I've had to actually bring this up twice.
okay,
I'm not going to name the builders, but I've had to bring this up twice because the way that they're circulating these duct flows, they just go, right? And then they come back and they'll adjust it, and then it's too cold still. You know, it's like you can't find a middle ground.
right,
And so I tell my clients sometimes it's good to get someone else out to do a third party. When you're getting inspections done, you don't have to just use your inspector. You can
Okay.
use whoever you want. If you want to use an outside source to come out and give a third party, you can, like Syntex, it's a foundation company, you know, things like that. When you're concerned about it, you're paying,
right.
right? Now, how much the builder is willing to do is up to the builder. It's not a guaranteed always that they're going to do it to the accordance of that. They just need to pass the city inspection. They don't need to pass Crystal and Kevin's inspection,
Even though I'm
even
sitting
though
up
you're
there
the buyer,
with all this money.
right? Yes. But at the end of the day, if they want you to close, then yes, they do need to pass your inspection.
Yeah,
So,
but then
something you
it's
can
all
push.
last minute fixes. That's the problem.
That's the problem. They do schedule. So I try to talk to clients ahead of time. And they'll say, yes, final walkthrough, we'll just do it the day of closing. And I'm like, I've learned, no, it's not happening because they'll promise you to do things later on.
and
And we
not
both
come back.
know once you drive off that parking lot, you've driven off that parking lot, and that's
Yep.
your car.
Yeah. But you said a mouthful. The neighbor still has a blue piece of tape on the side of his house.
no.
Still ain't got nothing done with it.
Now you're making me look bad.
Not my house. Their
Oh
house.
my gosh,
You
I
were their
know.
realtor.
I know.
You're not everybody's realtor, but she's mine. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, he still got that blue tape on the side of his house. I'm like, man, I'm so glad I stayed on there. But yeah, they want to wait till the last minute, try to do everything. Like, no, because you doing it fast, you're gonna make more mistakes, probably mess more stuff up. Like, that doesn't make sense. That's why I stayed on them every day. But yeah, it
You
was
were
an
very
experience.
good. You knew a lot about houses though too, so that was nice.
And
And
something else I
electrical.
The water thing. She said, we got to turn on every faucet in the house. We got to make sure the water's
Yes,
good.
I did say that.
And-
Especially out here in Manor, because you have a lot of development and your soil is different out here.
Okay.
Every area of Austin has different soil.
And you saying if the house shifts and breaks the water line, we want to make sure. And I was like, wow, that's genius. And like, it made all the sense in the world, and your experience just shone through when you said that. I was
Pressure
like,
was so important too,
Yeah.
because sometimes also the construction will build up and it'll be sitting in someone's drain. And the last thing you want when you move in is to have to pay a plumbing bill for their
Oh.
contractors from them doing it. So
filling
check
up the
your
drain with dust and
dirt and
paint
debris
and
because
stuff.
they just brush it down, you know. So like well, you guys got to pay that plumber bill because that wasn't us.
Okay, and this is exciting. All right, so let's get to a more close to home question. So we know you serve the Austin metropolitan area, basically.
Yes,
It
all
sounds
the
like you
surrounding
go
areas.
way to Bastrop, all the way to Buda and San Marcos.
Yes.
Far as Manor, what can you tell us about Manor? Where do you see Manor going in the future? How's the housing market looking and all that good stuff?
So I feel like Manor has had a good window of builds, right?
Okay.
And I feel like there's a lot of inventory out here.
Okay.
You know, it's close to Austin, and at the same time, it's heading into Houston. And a lot of surgeons commute from Houston to Austin, so it does
Wow.
tend to attract a lot of those people.
That's interesting. It's like, that's interesting you said that. Just not that I know anything about surgeons or anything, but who thinks about that?
Yes.
But coming from you and probably a lot of your peers, you see things differently than how we see it.
Yes. Yeah, the clientele is definitely going in between, right? But we have so much competition all over Austin. It's so hard to figure out where it's going to be the next big development.
Okay.
But it takes portions, right? So like Manor, I don't have anything major coming up right now, like anything huge. That's like, oh gosh, we're making grounds. We're going to be hitting it. The Brody development is my newest, biggest development that I've been talking to investors about because it's like the next domain.
Okay.
The Manor has so much land out here. I guarantee something's coming out here and it's going to be bigger.
So where's this Brody domain?
It's south,
type
like
thing?
71,
Okay.
71 over there, like Old Bee Caves area.
Oh, so ways away from here.
Yes,
Okay.
like southwest Austin.
So right up the street is Austin East. That's on Palmer.
Yes.
Was that something big?
Yeah, that is something big. There's different schools too that are attractions for people here, and
Okay.
also the size and the price point. So this goes back to leasing. I will say this. It's probably one of my more active cities that I lease, especially new builds.
Okay.
You know, people get off the plane and they're like, what about Manor? What about Manor? Like they come from Boston. What about Manor? What about, they get off of Chicago. What about Manor? I'm like, okay, it's a brand new house and you're right. It's a good place for you. So let's go look at it. So they'll come out here and some people it's a perfect location and some people it's too far out depending on where they're working and commuting in the city. Right. But right now at this time, we don't have anything huge. We had a dome development that was supposed to happen.
A dome?
Yeah, it was supposed to be like a big music production, but ended up being passed on to Bastrop.
Okay.
It was like big in music, the filmmakers, and you know they were having this whole thing going on. It's still in the mix of it. It's just kind of until it's set in stone. I can't really say it's going to happen.
Where you get all this information from? You know, getting some insider trading stuff going on.
Just I gotta know, you know.
Yeah.
That's the fun of like you know connecting and
Do you go
finding
like
out ahead of time.
the parties, cocktail parties and stuff,
No.
and be over here and rubbing elbows
This girl's
with big wigs?
retired. I'm retired. Just kidding. No, it's just kind of you know different investors, different
Okay.
investment groups, you know different things like that. Like you'll hear the word of mouth, and then you know they'll share, and then you're like, oh, it's coming, it's breaking ground, or it's supposed to be coming, right? So it's kind of showing people where you want to be. KB is probably like a good developer to follow.
Okay.
You know, sometimes their houses can be questionable at times, you know, in the past for their history, but they have really good commercial agents that find really good developments, and so does HEB.
HEB.
HEB. When you see an HEB go up, just know there's development coming.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. Yeah,
So-
when they actually set an HEB up.
Wow.
Yes.
Because ours about to open here on 22nd.
Well, there you go.
Oh,
Like I said, we're to
wow.
look in to see what
Oh,
else is
look at
going
that.
on.
Look at this. All right.
Yeah. I'm
So-
being serious. They're really good, you know. And Payless was another one I used to follow, but they're not in business as much. Everything's online.
Yeah.
So
you kind of follow like how Starbucks. If a Starbucks is going to go in the area,
Yes.
then the household medium is a certain amount.
they're following.
It's the same thing.
It's kind of, yeah, it's one of
Okay.
those things where you're seeing like, oh, okay, it's official. Yeah, they're going to be coming because I'm seeing this, you know, this growth happen. You start seeing the traction happen. Then all of a sudden you start seeing other restaurants and other things pop up.
Okay.
But you'll usually see in big areas like Santa Rita, for example, I could say that they put up this big HEB and my clients were like, there's nothing out here. You know, I see an HEB. When are we going to get HEB? And then one was like, when are we going to get HEB? That was like 2 years before the other one. And she goes, we got an HEB. And he was like, okay, that means she said there's development coming.
Wow.
And then they blew up. That community is huge, you know? So
Wow.
you just have to give it time. It's like there's so many parts of Austin and we can't hit them all at once.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to spread them all out and then, you know, pick your areas. So just be patient. I remember Manor was popping like in 2009, 2000 to 2013. You know, that Shadow Glen golf course. Everybody was like going crazy over it. So it's still there. It's not like Manor's been forgotten.
Okay.
You know, it's just that they have so much more to compete with. It's hard for it's like there's so much inventory. There's not limited inventory for people to come in and have to compete. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying.
Okay. So you brought up something I thought was really interesting. How important is it for a real estate agent to have a good network?
Oh, that's important. It makes it easier. It makes it easier on someone to have a
Okay.
really good network. I feel like with COVID, I personally lost a lot of my business because it's hard to stay connected with people when we were all being antisocial. And I am a social person. So for me, having coffee with my clients or seeing them or coming to their parties was hard for me because I feel like when you don't get to see them and get to see their kids are growing and their are moving to college or different things like that, you're losing part of their story. You're losing part of their chapter with them that you're getting with. So like networking is important for sure. It's very important to have constant connection with people. That's what real estate is. It is a connection.
Okay.
So you have to have it.
Yeah. With all this information you're getting, you definitely need to have it. So, last question, because I know you're tired. If
See
someone
it.
wanted, if somebody's watching that wants to get in touch with you about buying, selling, or investing in real estate, what's the best way to reach you?
If I'm being transparent, a text message. I did it for you on purpose. A text message is the best way for me because if I see it in my feed, I know you directly need me to contact you. I will call you back because I'm not going to text you back. I'm going to call you because we have to really communicate. A text is just the first thing for me to see because I'm not checking my emails all the time, and I'm being honest with you here because I'm busy. I have a bunch of junk emails. Going in my email is not going to be something I'm going to be doing versus driving to a client's property and talking to you on the phone and getting to know what you're wanting so I can know what I'm going to be looking for and making those next steps. So yes, a text message is the best way to reach me.
And so, how can they text you?
My number. You want to know my number?
If you want these new clients,
Yes. My
get in touch
number
with
is
you.
really easy. It's 512-299-4141.
Okay. No emails. Forget about that. Throw that out the window.
Just directly text me. We don't
Okay.
have to have you as another person in my email. Texting me, honestly, would be the best thing. If you prefer an email, I can text you back my email, but honestly, my phone number, so I can connect with you and really talk to you and get to know with what you're wanting, would be the best thing.
So, we're about to close out. Anything you want to put out there in the universe? You want to talk about? You want to do some shout outs? Whatever you want to say,
Oh
the
my
stage is
goodness.
yours. And don't sit up here with all this shy stuff. We just sat up here for over an hour and you just been just flowing and glowing and everything else. So we can cut the act now. You are a seasoned professional now. Let's go.
You're so sweet. I'm so grateful for my client, Kevin here, for pulling me out of my shell. I'm not a big camera person, so I will say this. It's so nice to be able to be here and share my knowledge with other people because I have not done this before, and there's been shows in the past and I just never took advantage of it. Kevin has always stuck by me on this, and he said, why didn't you do it? It's been years' time. He was persistent as my friend. I'm so grateful today to have shared a little bit about myself with you guys, and I'm hoping my stuff was helpful to you.
All right.
You're so sweet, Melinda.
So, well, that's going to be our show. I
Perfect.
appreciate you, Crystal,
Thank you.
for coming on and getting out of your shell and blooming and blossoming right here on the show. And you might even want to be on the lookout for the Crystal Show, the 500 Realtor of Austin show or something. Maybe I could talk into get from this camera again. I don't
You're
know.
so sweet.
It only took me 5 years. So
I said 2. You said 5. I'm like, it has been 5 years. You're right. It's been 5 years.
okay, but maybe you'll see Crystal again because I think she doesn't give herself enough credit. So I'll give you credit. I think you do really good work. I think you're good at what you do, and I think your customers and your coworkers probably agree with me. And it's one thing to be humble, but it's also another thing to sit up here and get your flowers while you accept them.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate that.
All right. And to you, Manor, Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Crystal appreciate you. Until next time.
All
Peace.
right.